And we are live on Facebook for Kids Central Conversations. We did a quick name change. We came out of quarantine and we are ready to start our new Kids Central Conversations. We're really excited to welcome Ms. Kettle, who's joining us from Hernando County tonight to tell us a little bit about her journey through foster care with Kids Central. I'm Jessica Gilbert. I'm the Director of Community Affairs for Kids Central. Joining me tonight is my A-team, Sharon Gibbs, who is our Senior Director of Out-of-Home Care, Caleb Stemmel, who is our, oh my gosh, I just totally blanked on your title, Caleb.
Community Relations Specialist.
That's so bad. Community Relations Specialist, Foster Parent Recruiter. I had community all in my head and I couldn't get the other word out. So we're really glad to have you guys with us tonight for another edition of Kids Central Conversations. We're excited to hear your story. I'm going to back away and be quiet for a little bit and let Caleb take over. I will be monitoring the chat room here on Facebook. So could you give us a thumbs up if you are a parent that is interested in learning more about foster adoption or Kids Central? Give us the little heart if you are one of our amazing foster or adoptive parents along with our kinship parents. And if you have any questions, please put them down below. If you would like to share some love with Ms. Kettle, we would love for you to do that too. I'll read those comments at the end. Caleb, it's all yours.
Oh, goodness. Well, Ms. Kendall, thank you so much for being here tonight, and we really appreciate your time. And I'm really excited to hear your story. I actually heard it on a phone call before that we had, but I'm excited for everybody else to hear it because I'm just going to start. I mean, you tell the story well. Let's just start. Where did your foster journey begin? Like, what was the start of this?
Well, I've always wanted to be a foster parent. I love children. And so soon after I got married, I found out that I could not have any more kids after having my son. And I'm from a big family. I have 8 brothers and sisters. So therefore, I always wanted a big family. And so after I had my son, they told me that was it. I basically, my parents thought I would fall into depression and that's it, but I didn't. I was like, okay, well, maybe God only wanted me to have one. I would do foster parenting, but it never quite worked out until now. My son, Junior, is 18. And so that started my journey. Like I attempted the classes and everything, but 3 years ago, I successfully got licensed and began. It took a year after that for me to get my first 2 kids.
So following that, so you just moved here to our circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Which county did you move from? Sorry.
I was in Hillsborough County.
Okay, and now you're in
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Licensed through Eckerd.
What was that?
Oh, I said I was licensed through Eckerd.
Okay. So you didn't go through our process of Pride and all that jazz, but
I did afterwards. When I came in November, I had to go through it again.
Okay. I'm going to ask, did you like our version of Pride better? Like, did we do a good job teaching you? Like, was it well taught?
Oh, that's what you meant. I apologize. No, I didn't actually have to take the class again, but I had to go through the licensure and all that big packet again. So they didn't make me take the class over, but I had to go through the licensing thing. But I enjoyed the class in Eckerd.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so one of the things we talked about that I really thought was just amazing the way you said it was we talked about you finding your why, because you said you wanted to foster, but like, why did you want to foster? What was it that was a part of you that brought you to fostering?
I wanted to foster, but I didn't know if it was right for me because I knew that there were challenges and some people were telling me that, some of the experiences they had. And so I wasn't sure. But 3 years ago, I started searching for my purpose. And because, I wasn't happy. And so my spirituality wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I started searching and seeking God, like with intention, and wanting to know the reason why I was placed on this earth, because that when you're fulfilling your purpose, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like anything but just you're happy, that internal well-being that you have. And so I started searching for that, and it led me to foster care again. And so that's when I went through the process and got licensed and felt like foster care. And it's so funny because right after I got the kids, my pastor asked me to teach Sunday school. So I started teaching the smaller kids in Sunday school. I thought I was going to go for teenagers. He was like, no, you're really good with kids because they always flock me. They always that. And so the thing with little kids is that they always have those sticky hands and touch dirty things and stuff like that. And so because I was dressed for church, I would always be like, my other pastor was asking me to teach Sunday school with the little kids. I'm like, I wouldn't do it because I was like, I'm going to be held on to with sticky hands and juice and snotty nose and all that, wiping in my clothes. I'm like, I don't want to be messed up. But that's where I was led to. And so here we are. So my first two kids were 4 at the time and 6. And they stayed with me for a year and became 5 and 7 when they went home.
Awesome. And how was, one of the big hesitations people have for fostering, and I think it's funny that that's not what you brought up. Your hesitation was, hey, can I do it? Can I handle it? Can I be the best parent for them? But a lot of people are hesitant because they're like, well, what happens when I have to give them back? Oh, how was that first reunification?
It was great. I don't know. Like I said, I think I was built for it. It was my purpose because a lot of people, they see me because they're my kids. Don't you tell me that my foster kids are not my kids. I will hurt you. Not really, but you know what I mean. I think they're my kids because I feel like when you give me that piece of paper, you're entrusting me with this little life, and I take it seriously as if they came from my own body. So one counselor got me miffed because she was like, oh, how are you dealing with COVID? And they're not even your kids. I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean they're not my kids? They are my kids. What you talking about, Willis? Anyway, so I was like, I knew that they're foster, and I feel like it really hurts my spirit when children are hurt and when a family is affected. So I came into foster care knowing that they're not my kids permanently. I knew that they were like, I was a glorified aunt, for lack of a better word, where they came, you take care of them, and then when mama is able, they go home. So I didn't feel that terrible when they went home because I knew they weren't mine, and I wanted them to be where they needed to be. I feel like the best people for children, if they are good performing parents, is with their parents. You know what I mean? And that sometimes we as adults make stupid decisions and get into issues wherein we can't manage parenting. And so, our kids get taken away. So, my big thing was when mama got it together, it was time for them to go home, and they wanted to go home. So that was the best place for them to be. They love me. I love them. But, and they had, they actually had issues with me because they felt like they were betraying me, wanting to go home. It's like, I want to go home, but I want to go home kind of thing. And I was like, no, honey, listen, love is infinite. You cannot overdo it, underdo it, or whatever. You can love me and love your mama just the same way. I'm not your mama. You can go home. It's okay. I will always love you. And if you need me, call me, kind of thing. And it made the transition a lot easier, I felt, for them.
Absolutely. That's amazing. You said something that I really, I love the way you phrased it, is that they're your babies, but they're not. And so at the end of the day, they're meant to go home. That's the best intention. But keeping that in mind, what makes you so passionate about those kids that need a home, and that makes you so passionate about giving them one? I guess I should ask.
Because I always used to see the news with kids that are abused, and it would make me so angry. I was like, those kids didn't need to. Where was the intervention? Somebody had seen that they were being abused. That's one. And two, why did you have kids in the first place just to hurt them? They didn't ask you to get pregnant or to do whatever. Take care of it, snip it, cover it up, but don't get pregnant if you're not going to treat the kids well. So I was like, upset every time. And so I was like I said, when I was searching for my purpose, I found this book by Dr. Miles Monroe, and he said anything in life that causes you to be angry and become passionate about it, you are to be part of that solution. And I was like, you know what? That's right. Because I know my mom used to say to me that I could spoil a fish because she's like, not in a bad way. You just tend to spoil kids. You love on people, you pull them in. And so, when I did nursing, I did labor and delivery, mother, baby, pediatrics, always did the kids and, family. And so it just kind of tore at my heart. And I felt like I know I could give them a safe place to play, have fun, but they understand that you need to be respectful. I have three rules in my house, really. Like food is unlimited. I don't wait for the $300. I buy what they need, which that's another story. But I have three rules. One, respect me, respect yourself, and respect the house. That's it. You know what I mean? This is not a garbage dump. You can't throw your crap everywhere. And you know what I mean? You got to respect that everybody wants it nice. And you respect me. I don't get called out of my name, hit, throwing a tantrum, fit with, or whatever. And other than that, and if you need something, let me know. And it works.
Love that. Okay, so I'm gonna jump just a little bit because I want to hear your response to this. I want to know, what do you think makes you a great foster parent?
Well, the kids seem to like me. They don't want to leave when they come. But what made me a great foster mom? I understand.
It's your calling. If you were made to do this.
I feel like it.
What makes you so good at this?
21 years of hell. When I say that, I'll rephrase that. Okay. Patience. So let's see. 21 years ago, more like 25 years ago now, when I was in nursing school, I made the mistake, so to speak, of praying for patience. And over the next 25 years, I'd get nothing but problems. People don't understand that because the only way to build patience is to deal with problems. So I was like, one day I sat down, I was like, why is it that nothing seemed to go right for me? Like everything I had to deal with this, call this, do this, go here, do that. And I was constantly managing multiple things, like at my job, everywhere, as I did home health, I had to do, get things and resources and find things for people. So my experiences for the last, like I said, 21 to 25 years has just been nothing but solving problems for people. So when I look back and when I got into foster care, I realized that literally my life experiences was preparing me for what I'm doing now. And the reason why is not that it's easy, but it is natural for me because I've been doing it in other areas, not necessarily foster care. In addition to that, I think I just have a knack to listen to kids. You know what I mean? You pay attention I'm very sensitive to what they need. I'll give you an example. My biggest challenge was Chase, but he's also my most loving. It's like also my most hateful, but my most loving kid, right? Like he's the only kid here. Not even my own kid came in and said, Happy Mother's Day. But he came in, Miss Wade, were you awake? Happy Mother's Day. And I was like, oh, I was all choked up. But he's also the one that like shot me in the face with a gun, one of those Nerf guns. Called me out of my name, slammed the door, broke a window. I can't tell you all the stuff that my police have been to my house 4 times.
Oh, goodness.
But that was 4 months ago. Now he is so much better because I was like, okay, Chase, let's talk. Is evil Chase here today, or are we gonna have angel Chase?
Yeah.
Which one? So I don't know. I think it's just the experiences that I've had and understanding that children literally are not bad kids. There's no bad kids. They get bad because bad adults, teach them to defend themselves. And, everybody wants to be loved. I feel like if you love a child and in the right way, and give them room to grow, they'll be good human beings rather than, evil kids. And a lot of adults, unfortunately, weren't loved themselves, so they don't know how to treat their children. So I think maybe also your upbringing have a lot to deal with it. I had to deal with these kids how they wanted to be dealt with, not exactly also how I was raised. Discipline, how I was raised is different than my discipline for them. Mm-hmm. Trauma discipline is different than regular child discipline. You can't yell at them because they freak out, because maybe the parent they came from screamed and it triggers a response. So you have to be aware. And one day, a funny story, one day one of my kids, because I do different things with all the kids, right? And Justin is 14, and he was like, you treat all of us different. You don't treat me like you treat Dalton or Chase. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah. Are you the same as Dalton? No. Do you need the same thing? No. Then why would I treat you the same? And he was like, oh, okay. Like, because I thought he was trying to catch me, right? I'm like, no, I can't treat you the same. You came from a different background, had a different experience than Dalton and Chase did, and this other little one, Rylan. So I have to treat you differently because that's what you need. So I don't know. I just I like people and I like individuals, and they're individuals. I treat them like that. And if you do, you'll find that they're not all that different, but they are. You just have to be sensitive to what they need.
Absolutely. So you found your purpose. You're doing this thing. What is your why to continue doing this? What is your dream? If you could just make it all happen tomorrow. Oh,
she's having a mom moment. We have a lot of those.
We allow for this.
We have mine sitting right here in front of me, so I completely understand. She's like, hold on a second, I got to put myself on mute because I'm about to yell.
Yeah. What do you want, Chase? Yes, as soon as I'm out of this meeting.
Real life. As it unfolds.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm off mute. Sorry.
It's okay. This is real life. This is what it's all about. It's about showing that no matter what we do, we still are living in quarantine and we're still raising these kiddos. So it's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Sorry, Caleb, continue.
That's okay. I was just gonna say, like, what kind of dreams do you have moving forward for these kids? What kind of dreams do you have for yourself? Like, are you gonna keep doing this for a long time? Like, you found your passion and your why, but like, what's the goal? What's moving forward?
I really, if I told you that I had a specific plan, I'd be lying. I did this and I'm so happy because I think the other day, one of my friends was like, Wave, you sound really happy, because I'll tell another funny story. So we're COVID, right? So I work from home. I'll show you my desk with my 2 screens. So I work from home, and I was in a meeting with everybody, and the kids, they're saying, well, what do you do for fun and stuff? And I was like, what do I do for fun? I'm like, I have 4, I think at the time I had like 8 kids in my house. And I was like, what do you mean, what do I do for fun? I have no time to do anything but parent. And like on cue, I didn't plan this. Dalton came in, then the other, I think Chase came in, Tristan came in, and that's like, oh my gosh. And I was like, shh. And they were like, no, bring them on camera. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. So I brought them. I was like, well, this is my hobby. I don't have any time but to parent. And so they were like, well, they were all so impressed. And I'm looking like, I still have to get used to it. I'm going, okay, well, thank you. But, it's just, it is what it is. So my plan really is to do this as long as I'm able. I found my niche. I love it. Being a parent I think is the ultimate responsibility that anyone can have, I think I have more of a sense of responsibility with these kids than my own because they're not mine. And I'd hate to screw up anybody else's kid, kind of thing. It's like, okay, am I doing this right? Kind of thing. So I enjoy being a parent. And the fact is, what I would like people to know is that we affect our own reality, our cities, our community, our state, our world. And if we don't step up to the plate and parent these kids, what's going to happen is the 300, 500, 5,000 little persons that are in foster care grow up to be 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20,000 adults who are broken. And if you don't help to fix the problem, you're going to have a world of very unhappy, miserable people. I don't want that to happen. So, as many lives as I can touch in a good way to change it to a positive, like I feel as if that one of my kids could easily turn out like, I'm not even going to go there. He was so angry. When he gets angry, he breaks things, like he's broken a window, iPads, my door, whatever. And now he's not angry anymore. You know what I mean? He used to scream, "You don't love me, you want to kill me," and stuff like that. And with him, I always said that it was like hard to love Chase. But what I did was, I was like, wait a minute, what does Chase needs? I had to take myself out of it because, your first reaction was like, oh, you just got to go. I can't deal with it. I've tried this, I've tried that, it wasn't working. I'm like, okay, take myself out of the picture. What does Chase need? And he needed to feel safe. He needed to feel loved, like all of this. But the funny thing is, the worst kid wanted the most love. So, and it was so weird because I didn't realize I was doing this. I just started hugging him and just waited as long as he needed to let go. Not just the fake hug that people give, like, bye kind of thing, but just hold him. And he stayed there, breathe. And I was like, are you done yet? Mm-mm. Okay, Chase, take the time you need. And then finally, he's like, okay, I'm done. I'm like, okay. And he would come, as I'm working, he would come, I need a hug. Okay. Then I hug him. And he did that like every hour. Like first when he came, the first month, he did that like almost every few minutes. Then he went to like maybe an hour, then a couple hours. I called him Shadow because he would follow me if I was in my bedroom. He even wanted to follow me in the bathroom. I was like, Chase, I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, you can't come in the bathroom. You got to wait. So I was like, but you got to wait, Chase. So we went from that to now, maybe once or twice a day, that reassurance, but every day I'm trying to get out of here. I'm like, whenever you're ready to get out of here, let me know. Put my 30 days in. Okay, Chase. Then the next time, I love you, Miss Wave. And I'm like, I love you too, Chase. I'm like, it's just, it is what it is. So now they're asking me to adopt my teenager, the 14-year-old, and Chase and his brother. They're asking me if I'm interested in adopting. And I was like, it's like a mental transitioning, right? Because it's like, that you were foster, but I wasn't prepared for the adoption part. It's a different kind of thing. So I'm thinking about it because I definitely don't want Chase to go back to the situation where he was in, because I don't feel like, with him in particular, for the first time, I just don't feel like his father has the patience to take care of Chase, give him what he needs to be a good adult. The love and the patience that he takes, you have to build that up, and he doesn't have that yet. Even with counseling, sometimes I just don't see it yet, because he tries your patience. Don't get me wrong. He tries you, you know what I mean? He's just special that way. So I'm thinking about it. So who knows? Next time you see me, I might be an adoptive parent of 3 kids, who knows, and then having some more. I'm getting a bigger house.
Why is this a resounding thing? We always hear, I'm getting a bigger house, I'm getting a bigger vehicle.
We're a 15-passenger van.
I know. I love it.
Thinking about a school bus. And I was like, my mom was like, are you collecting kids? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. It's better than collecting some other stuff.
What does your son think about the possibility of your adopting?
people think it's roses, right? So it's not all bed of roses. My son is an only child, right? And he always wanted me to have other kids. So he was excited when I decided to foster. He was like, "Oh, mom, I can't wait to be a big brother." And I was like, "Mm-hmm. You saying that now, but yeah, it might not be all you cracked up to be. So let's just see." So when we got the two kids, initially it was like, "Oh, I got people to play with and stuff like that." He was excited. Well, then they started taking mama's time. All of a sudden, my son changed, and it went way from happy to not so happy to depression. You hear me? I said it. He went into depression, and I had to get him therapy and everything. They even tried to put him on meds. He won't take it. And now this pendulum done switched the other way, and he's coming back. So it wasn't easy. It was easy for me to love the other kids, but my son didn't like my love being shared with them. After the first initial, he's like, "When are they going home? When you send them up? When you send them home? Why they got to be here? Why I got to do this?" And I'm going, "Didn't we talk about this?" "Yeah, but I didn't know it was all this. They always on you. Don't touch my mama." I was like, "You 17. Are you for real right now?" And he was like, "I don't know why I feel about this." And I had to give him room to express that, right, because he was feeling some type of way. And I'm sitting there going, "Boy, if you don't get it together, we done went through this for 2 years. What is your problem?" So, but finally during COVID, he was like, "Mom, I'm so glad you got these kids, because if you didn't, I wouldn't have anyone to play with. I would be so bored." And he's bonded. What I did do though, strategy wise, was to get a teenager. So Justin and him is now bonded. You would think that Justin was 18. He's 14, but he's like 6 foot tall, 280 pounds kind of thing. But he's just a gentle giant. He pretends not to be, but he's the sweetest kid. He got his evil side, I call it. There's evil Justin and there is good Justin at some time. But finally, it took a while, but I just ignored it. You know what I mean? I did what I had to. I said, "Okay, so you're depressed. Well, here we are. I'm still not going to give up being a foster parent. We just going to have to deal with it. What do you want to do? You want to go to your dad?" "No, I want to stay here, but why do they have to be here?" I'm like, "Boy, you need to get over it. It's not going to work. I'm not going to give in." So
has he stepped in any kind of role with the kids and the siblings? Like, does he get to do like part of being an older brother is not just the fact that you have to share everything, but also like the responsibility of babysitting or helping and teaching and those kind of things. Has he stepped into those roles at all?
Now he has. So I feel that, there's a transitioning. I call it a switch. There's a switch that I feel that kids need to flip when they're transitioning from being child to being an adult. It's not just 18 and they magically happened. Some people feel like, "Oh, they're 18 now, they're adults, they can do stuff." No, my kid was still 14, even though he was 18. I feel like he was. So I was like, okay, I had to transition myself to say, okay, this kid ain't 18. He's acting more like 14. Let me treat him like he's 14. Ding, 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 light bulb. It worked. He was literally in 14 mode. He done regressed. Okay. So basically I did some, problem solving. Let's see. We ended up having our special day. Mom and son day. We went out to dinner. I took him to the movies and we did Mom and Sunday. I got a babysitter for the other two. And so we would go out. I treat him to whatever movie he wanted. He's not into clothes or anything like that. Strange thing. But anyway, but he's into games. So I got him his game passes and stuff like this. And then, so this is mom and me time. And he guarded that time. If they ever acted out, he'd get so livid. So I had to protect that time. Like every Tuesday we went to Village Inn because he liked pie. So we'd go and have pie, or we'd have a meal somewhere or whatever. And so that's how it ended up transitioning, and ended up being okay.
So
Did I
fun.
answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, so it's funny is I usually wrap up with, if you could say anything to our foster parents, what would it be? But you like already covered that, so I'm not sure what to finish with.
Sorry.
No, you're fantastic. I love the way you tell stories. So I don't have any more questions for you. Does anybody else have any questions for Ms. Kettle?
The only question that I have is, you talked about a teen, and that's one of our biggest needs. You did talk about it, and the fact that, they're just regular kids. I thought that it was really good that you did point out that you did have an older child as well as younger kids. Have you found it to be any different than parenting your own son with the teenager that you have in your home?
Yes, definitely, totally different. See, because Orion is sheltered. He's an only child. Where I went, he went. He didn't have a lot of friends because he was an only child and he was mostly around adults. So he was different than a typical teenager. Like, I find that he wasn't into stuff, and they all go through a self-esteem problem when they're a teenager, because they're transitioning, the hairs, the smells, all the other stuff that they're experiencing. And also the responsibility. Some of them is scared witless to be an adult because, oh my God, no, I have to pay bills and wash my own clothes and take a bath. So that's it, my hygiene and liking girls, because I'm a boy mom. I'm not a girl mom. I have no girls. So that's the only restriction in my house. I only have boys, because I understand, not that I don't understand girls, but girls are emotional. And girls take a lot different psychological handling than boys do. With boys, you feed them, you keep them active, and they're good. They're pretty happy. But with girls, we have to have these long conversations, you know what I mean? And maybe our shopping days kind of thing. And I didn't have time for that. Not with the boys, because you have to watch them, because they can get into stuff. So I'm like, it's not two of me, it's only one. So we can only do one sex. So I understand boys, so I'm a boy mom. So what I did with teenagers, what I find is that Justin is a lot more grown up, because he had to be, than my 18-year-old in some ways. Does that make sense? Like, he had been exposed to a lot more things that I sheltered my son from. Right. And so he's like, so what I had to do actually was shelter my son from Justin, because I didn't want him to be so exposed. I want him to have that wonder. I think that's the thing that makes me sad, is because when you have a sense of wonder, it's amazing the world, that you have a sense of adventure and you're exploring and stuff like that. When that is stripped from you, that sense of innocence and wonder, you tend to be too old too quickly. And you don't tend to experience the joys of life, I feel, that other kids that have been sheltered. So that's the difference between him and, some of the things that he doesn't know, like the schoolwork and the things that Orion knows, that he knows about how women are and how girls is and how you should do this and that. And, how addicts act and and I was like, and some of the cuss words that he uses, there's no profanity in my house. I hear him and I was like, Justin, that's not a house word. We don't say that here, things like that. But learning to accept him as the place that he is, don't be on him to where he feels that there's something wrong with him versus there's something wrong with what he's doing, was important for us. And then actually, they test you with teenagers. Like, I told him, they want to know the deal breakers, right? But then they're going to do the deal breakers unconsciously, because they want to see how far they can push you for you to kick them out. And he tested me, one day, where I was like, now remember, I told you the one deal breaker is self-respecting me, right? And he was cussing, bleep, 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 F word, that, bleep, bleep, B word, whatever, this and that, whatever. I said, okay, now listen, we talked about this. I told you what the deal breaker is. If you have no respect for me and yourself, you cannot stay here, because if you don't respect me, that means you're not going to do what I say. And we can't work that way. There's only one ruler under this house, and that's me. So if you don't understand that, it's not going to work. So he was like, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. You can do this. I was like, okay. In front of him, I took him outside. I didn't want to do it in front of the kids. I called up placement. I said, bleep, bleep, bloop. Hello, 30 days notice, please. Because he wanted me to do that. And I told him, I said, listen, we talked about the deal breaker. You did it. I gave you how many chances? And I'm putting in, this is what you want, right? I'm putting it in. And then he's like, really? You're putting, I called. I said, you want to talk to him? Here's the phone. I'm not going to hide it from you, because he was like, the last lady, I didn't know I was leaving until the day. I said, I'm not going to hide it from you. I'm not afraid of you. Here it is. You asked for it. And so he was upset. After that, he was like kind of shocked. And then he was crying and he was upset about it, because he didn't want to leave. And I was like, but you said that you didn't care, but you kept going, but this. And I was like, listen, so I talked to him about self-sabotage. I'm sorry, am I long-winded? Do we have to end?
You're good.
Oh, okay. So I talked to him about self-sabotage, because I was like, I recognized it as a coach. Thank God, my training as a coach, I recognized that he was self-sabotaging unknowingly. So I told him, I said, look, we all have choices, whether it is conscious or unconscious. We make those choices. I'm not trying to be your mom. You know, I know that we talked about you staying here and being adopted and all that. And all of a sudden I see that you're doing the things that I told you expressly that you shouldn't do. So I'm like, are you thinking I'm trying to be your mom or replace your parent and stuff like that? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I'm not trying to be your mom. I'm not your friend either, but I'm not trying to be your mom. Think of me as an aunt or something. And if you want to be here, this is it. I can cancel the 30-day notice at any time. However, you are going to determine if it gets canceled or not me. You're not going to put it on me. I'm not going to be the one. You're responsible. You determine if you want to be here. You determine if you want to go. And you determine if you want to follow these rules. And so I left it at that. And then I think I also had established with him also the mommy son time. So he loved Chinese food. So I find an all you can eat buffet. So I take him there. I know his case manager was like, don't take him to no all you can eat because he's getting too fat. I said, girl,
you all you can eat.
Sorry?
Okay. I said, you could win my love with all you can eat buffet. So
exactly. Well, I really wasn't trying to win. So, but I understand what you're saying. But he enjoyed it. And my thing is, why not take him somewhere he enjoys and like build that relationship? It's about building relationships, right? Mm-hmm. So we went to the Chinese food place. We had a talk, and I said, "You determine. I will miss you, but honey, if this ain't for you, I'm not gonna hold you here. You know what I mean? I'm not doing this for no money, obviously." So I told him, I said, so he was like, okay, fine. And so I gave him 2 weeks for the things that he needed to do. And then he did them, and he was like on it, like really good behavior. And I canceled the 30-day notice. And you know what? Justin has been good ever since. We ain't ever had no blow up anymore.
Wow.
I'm not saying, I don't know. I figured, I guess I got through to him, and he said, yeah, our talks help. So, our talks help. And, he was like, he's good now. Now he says, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. He gets up immediately. When I talk to him and if I say go clean his room, he's like, okay, ma'am, he's going to do it. And I appreciate that. And I said, look, you respect me, I respect you. That's how it works. But if you're here, we're enjoying the same area, we're a family, because he used to be like, you love your son more than me. I said, listen, Justin, all my kids are white. Obviously, I'm not. I said, Justin, come on. I love my son more than you. Well, he came from my body, Justin. What do you think? But I love you too. Does it have to be measured? No. Does it make us not family? No, we're family. You can't say that you're not my family. You're in my house. You're eating my food. You're sleeping in my bed. Everything well, not everything, but a lot of the things you put on, I bought it. We go to the same place. Are we not family? We're family. Family is not about blood. It's about who you share your environment and your life with, your experiences with. We cry together. We get in fights. I tell you when to shower and when you ain't leaving the house in that. No change. So that's how it is at my house. And it's sometimes I had to get used to having some mess. I'm sure I'm gonna go downstairs and find a wrecked kitchen, but anyway.
I really do love your honesty and your openness. And I think that's showing through some of the comments that I'm seeing. Is just your openness and honestness. We actually have a newly licensed parent that said, thank you for your openness and honestness. Just those relationship building parts that you talked about. I mean, I'm a parent of 2 children and those, I have a boy and a girl. So I understand what you're talking about with girls and long-windedness. I've got one. But they both require such different things. They want different ways of being loved and talked to, and we have those mom and daughter dates and mom and son dates, and I think that's so incredibly important that you're talking about that. Even our own kids need that. Our foster kids really do need that extra time and love and attention, and we're all really in this together, working for the better of these kids that we take into our homes and we love. And even though sometimes they don't want us to love them right away, we do love them, and we take every precaution and care to show them that. So I just love that you've been very honest with how it is and how you approach it. And I love that you're giving those tips and tricks for that approach. It's just amazing. And thank you for taking them under your wing. And even when it's hard, just sticking through it and giving them those options.
Yeah, because it's not always easy. And, I had to think at one point, I hesitated to see if I was doing the right thing because, like I said, my son had depression over it and was saying, well, I have to share you with these kids and, and stuff like that. And now I hear him reflecting my thing, saying that, well, we're a family. And if they said, oh, this is not your brother, he's like, Mom says everyone is my brother that comes in this house. And we're a family. Exactly. And I hear the little ones too, because I got another one yesterday. I got Rylan yesterday. And I hear Chase orienting him. You know how you would orient someone? He was like, welcome, Rylan. You'll love it here. Miss Wave, I swear I could have recorded it. Miss Wave is really nice. You will enjoy being here. And I was like, can I record this and play for every kid that comes in?
This is your orientation.
This is your orientation.
Exactly.
I just think
packet.
I love that you found your thing, and it's so much of who you are now that it's like even your foster kids just get it. We had, I don't remember what was going on, but we had a kid come into our house, and one of my brothers who's actually adopted from foster care, they made some comment and they were like, well, why are we doing this? And he goes, that's just what we do. This
exactly. That's just what we do. That is, we're a boy mom, we're a family, and once you come in my house, you are now my child until they take that paper away from me. And I happily wish you goodbye to your healthy life, hopefully for the better. And that's just the way it is. If I were to tell you, if this is your niche, it doesn't feel that hard. I mean, even when you have the rough days, I was up last night late because Rylan, he was new. He came at 9 and he just had a hard time sleeping. So I said, okay, just stay up until you fall asleep. I mean, what are you going to do? Force them to what? Whatever. I just was like, okay, Rylan, as long as you're in the room, laying on your bed, they were looking at the computer, the iPad together. And I was like, lay there. Oh, I can't fall asleep. Don't worry. Sleep is not something you have to make happen. It will happen all on its own when it's ready. And he fell asleep and he woke up this morning and they're out there playing. You can't hear them, I hope. But they're playing.
We can't, but it's the perfect background noise.
Oh, you can't hear them. I thought you couldn't, but yeah, they're playing. So, but that's it. I mean, it's wonderful. It's if it is what your niche is, you will not feel, you'll forget about the incident. Sometimes I have to dredge up the past. You'll forget about the past thing. You'll realize that, like I said, every children inherently just want to be loved, want food to eat, want to, if you solve their basic needs, then you'll see their little personality comes through. And when I tell people now that Chase is really a sweet kid, they'd be like, what? I've had Chase, and he's been in 11 homes or 4 or 5 placements. He's only stayed at 30 days. He's been with me going on 5 months. But it's not anything magical. I don't feel like I do anything magical. I just, I love kids. So when you love kids, you kind of know that the little angry thing, because like Chase will be mad and stomping and slamming the door. Like I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I'm running away. You're not giving me this, so I'm running away. I said, okay, Chase, you can go for a walk. He's like, I'm running away. Bam! He slams the door. He runs out there. I went out. I made sure I knew what direction he was going in. I had my phone, to call whoever I needed to help. And I was like, they're like, oh, I'm like, I'm not calling the police. That's what Chase wants. We're going to wait. We're going to let him go for his runaway. And then we're going to make sure he's safe. And he'll be back. I didn't call. I called, his counselor, and he was like, oh, make sure I'm like, of course I'm making sure he's safe, but he had to go burn off some energy, right? And later on, I looked down the street, he's coming back up. Hi, Miss Wave. Hi, Chase. Are you okay? Yeah. I'm sorry. I was like, Chase, I know you're sorry. Get in the house. Let's go get some food. You can't take it serious. They got emotions. They have triggers. They have issues because grown-ups gave it to them. It's going to take some time to get over these issues and for you to train them and give them healthy habits to put in place. And if you don't have that patience, the only thing I can tell you, you can't fix them. Right. They fix themselves. You cannot fix them. You can just give them what they need to overcome what they've experienced. So if you think you're going to get them and fix them, then don't do this. This is not for you.
That's an amazing point.
You could have said that. You better.
Perfect.
Huh?
And it's showing on our chat. There's just a lot of care, heart. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think they're just resonating with a lot of people. That's foster parents always jump on these, and I love to see their comments because what you're saying is just resonating with a lot of our current foster parents. That it takes some time. It takes a little bit of love and attention and that safe feeling for these kids. Sometimes that they just need to feel like they've got a safe space to land, and that's the important part.
And to know too that bad things will happen. You're gonna have those days. I've had the cops out to my house 4 times. Because I felt that it wasn't in a place where I could handle keeping him safe, and I was worried. So I did. But now that I know, what to do and de-escalation and all the other stuff, and I have some services in place, you don't have to go that route anymore. You kind of know how to anticipate, be like, okay, should I do, how to curb it and go from there. But even though the bad things happen, there's more good than bad, And I feel like also deliberately adding kids, like I waited about a month or so before taking another child because I wanted to get Chase, as I've been calling his name. I wanted him feeling secure and knowing that he can come to me and, hugging it out and, changing his attitude. And so when I started seeing him improving, then I was like, okay, I think we're ready to get another one. And trust me, they all don't want any other kids here. They're like, oh, do we have to have another kid? And I was like, wait a minute, you're here. If somebody else needs me, you need to accept that. So, but, like I said, they will fix themselves. They will become, you'll hear your verbiage back out of their mouth,
Yeah.
They will. Some of the parents will hate it. Because Dalton was telling his dad yesterday that, oh, I have 2 older brothers and we went to Busch Gardens and we went on the ride. He's like, you have brothers now? And he's like, yeah, we do. And I was like, okay, oh no, sorry, case manager, you're going to have a fit. You're going to have a parent with a hissy fit. But my thing is, what the parents don't understand One, you can never, ever, ever sever a child's love for his parents, his or her parents. You can't. No matter if that is a horrible, hurtful parent that did the worst thing imaginable, we're just built like that. Who we come from, we will always love. And that's okay. As long as we don't love the behavior and we teach them that the behavior is wrong, then maybe later on that relationship can be repaired later. Nobody want, everyone needs to feel a sense of belonging where they come from. So I never talk about their parent or in a negative way or whatever. I just said, you know what, maybe daddy or mommy needs a little help. Just leave it like that. Because bottom line is it's their parent, right?
Right.
Then after that, you basically just want to just be there when they're ready to talk. I don't force them to talk either. Don't force them to talk about don't even talk about their experience. They'll talk when they want to.
Right.
Just let them be, feed them, let them play, and just let them be. And when they're ready, they'll tell you whatever.
Let them be kids.
Mm-hmm. Kids. Exactly. And safe, secure kids, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Right.
So, that's basically it. What I can say, if you're doing this, then you're gonna be in for some awesome times. You're prepared for. You can have some rough patches, but the good stuff outweighs the bad.
Awesome. I apologize. My power ran out here, so I'm hoping I'm coming back. But I think are we good? I think we can wrap up with that. That was amazing.
Great information.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kettle, for joining us. Really, we appreciate it.
My pleasure. Yeah. What were you saying, Jessica?
And we just wanted to, I think I've heard it a couple of times now, if not only through our chat box, but just in private text messages. Thank you for keeping it real. And thank you for being really honest about what foster care sometimes looks like. In that, I think what you just said really sums it up, that there are going to be some hard times and there are going to be some times that you question even what you might be doing. But when those great times come through and you see those changes and you see those kids really start to make that recovery and they feel safe and they feel loved, the good definitely outweighs the bad. And if without parents like you, we really are not able to do what we do every day. And I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've stepped up to do for those kids that you have in your home. Thank you to your son for having the strength to say this is not fun, but now it really is fun. And I think every kid really does go through something like that. I mean, it's got to be hard as a bio kid to come in and be like, okay, why is my mom hugging all the other kids? So I just want to thank you for all of your real honesty and really just talking to us about your experience and your journey. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna let Sharon close us out today because I like to throw her and put her on the spot a lot.
Well, we appreciate it, Ms. Wave. Like I said, we wanted a chance to feature a foster family from Hernando County. And I've heard such good things about you from our licensing supervisor and our licensing specialist. So thank you for accepting our kids into your home, our young kids, as well as our teen. You've been able to talk about our teens as well. And more importantly, I think the message of the fact that these children have parents and families that they love regardless, I think is very important when we do have children that we're providing a home for, and knowing that, they hurt, and being able to be there and knowing that they're not perfect. I think your message was excellent. And we appreciate all that you have done and all that you continue to do for our kids.
Yeah, compassion and love. If you love them, you'll be good.
Yes.
I think everything else come with love. The patience will come as long as you just realize that bottom line is just love them.
Right. Well, thank you.
I think that's the best way to end it. Truthfully, it's all about love, and we need love more now than we have before. And we're just grateful for amazing foster parents like you. We want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. I mean, we stayed pretty steady at about 30, 35 viewers through the whole thing. So you really touched a lot of people tonight. We've got a lot of comments about new foster parents that are saying thank you for being real. Thank you, Kid Central, for your amazing support. So we really appreciate that shout out. So thank you very much. We try our best to make sure that our parents have everything they need.
They do.
We're going to continue these conversations. We love Kid Central conversations. Our next one will be August 26th. We hope you will join us right back here. And in the meantime, if you are interested in learning more information about becoming a foster adoptive parent, please feel free to reach out to us at openyourheart@kidscentralinc.org. If you're interested in just helping out, donating, becoming part of the Kids Central community of care, please feel free to reach out to info@kidscentralinc.org. And we thank you so much for joining us tonight, Ms. Kettle. Thank you so much again. Caleb has something. He's going to interrupt me. What you need, Caleb?
All right. I think the next one is the 27th, actually. But we are confirmed that we have a Ms. Noble and Ms. Roman are going to be with us that week, and it's going to be fantastic as well.
Awesome.
Just so that you know, Jessica will be sharing this on our page. So
yes, we always post right after. Ms. Kettle, I did hit record just in case you got sidetracked and forgot, because I thought, I didn't see the record button pop up. So
thank you so much.
These conversations are super fun. We love having them. We hope you guys will get involved in them too. Again, please support your local foster parents association and your foster parents in your community. We really want to see that love and support around them. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can even leave it here in the comments. We do check our Facebook page regularly. Thank you so much. Good luck with all that you have. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you on the next edition of Kids Central Conversations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Have a great weekend. Good night. Great meeting you guys.
Thank you.